since I last walked through these woods. In my younger days, frolicking in the foliage and under the purple ivy. We kissed each other on this spot more than 50 years ago. We loved each other under these boughs, under these bushes, amongst the toadstools and on the moss. I was 16 and you weren't quite 20. And then you married Matilda Blumenhard with her little general store, and I married Zach with his millions from Armenia. He found me in a brothel. It was my red hair that took his fancy. Our child only lived for a year. I only saw the thing once, at birth, and then they took it away. And now we're old, the pair of us, you decrepit, and me cut into pieces by the surgeon's knives. You chose your life, but you forced me into mine. And now it is justice that I desire. And I can afford it.
Okay, very good. In terms of feedback, off you go.
I think the soundscape was really well integrated into your video, and I liked how there was like the recurring breath. The one thing I would say about the recurring breath is
Cat's the new star of the show. Keep going.
yes. One thing I would say about the recurring breath is maybe the movement could have linked to it a bit more. Obviously it's hard like with the editing going over the top, but if like the sound, like normally with DV8's productions, it's like really integrated together, and obviously I can understand that it's like really hard to do that, but maybe if there was some inkling of a connection with the sound and the movement together. But I thought your use of movement to reveal subtext was really good, especially when you were talking about being cut into pieces, and there you were really able to like create empathy with the audience, which is obviously another thing that's really important. I definitely felt empathy for your character, so in all those respects it was really, really good.
I think also on what Willow said with like the cut, I like how you did like cuts of the clips as well. It worked like really, really effectively. But in terms of voice, I thought it was so strong like the whole way through, and then the ending's supposed to be this like big like bang, and I just thought like the voice could have been a bit more like aggressive or a bit louder just to show it's like the end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
I'm just gonna like repeat what Lily said. That was like the main thing for me, just like the assertiveness in your voice about like all the things that kind of upset you the most. It felt like the dynamic of your voice was quite level the whole way through, apart from like you did sometimes like, you know, increase the pitch at some points, but I feel like just to express fully how like upset the character was, it could have gone a bit further. But yeah, I think the use of soundscape and all the cuts were really, really effective. So yeah, it's good.
I definitely agree that the soundscape built like an emotional character for the story before you even started using vocals for speaking. But I did think that the contrast between the harsh and like tender gestures could be amplified a bit more, so maybe enhanced just a little bit. Besides that, it was really good.
Okay, good. Lola, in terms of if obviously the examiner won't directly speak to you, but in terms of if they asked you, how do you think your performance skills, so movement or voice, supported the chosen style, what would you say?
I'd say that I think the movement, especially at the start, kind of, it was more kind of free flowing, a bit more expressive to kind of build up the idea that, you know, my character is really joyful at the beginning, reflecting on her life, and then there's, it creates contrast to then when it kind of develops through the video to the end where her raw emotions are kind of expressed through the movement and through the voice. There's that creation of contrast to then evoke empathy within the audience, which was the main aim of DV8.
Okay, good. It's interesting that a lot of people commented on the ending. Again, you know, you're intelligent enough and experienced enough to make your own decision. I would probably juxtapose what a lot of people have said about the ending. I actually find it really quite intense, and I like the vocal. I like the fact that you strip back a lot of the sound, and I thought it was yeah, it worked for me in terms of the emotional intensity of the character. So one of the main drop downs, I suppose, where people lose marks is the emotional engagement of the character throughout the piece. I think considering all the editing you've had to do to it, I definitely got that emotion right at the end. So I thought the emotional intensity in terms of characterization was really clear. I thought the movement, I agree completely with you. The movement, I thought, really symbolized the subtextual struggle of the character. So believed that and understood that. And I know that's something you want to highlight in terms of DV8's techniques or DV8's aim. The voice I thought was really clear. The only thing I would say, and I do know it's all, you know, this isn't in the real world, this wouldn't happen in terms of where we're in the studio, but in terms of the video editing, there were a few bits where the sound seemed to drop off, where it was quite difficult. I don't know whether that's my computer, if everybody else heard that. They were like, have you filmed it in separate clips, like episodic clips?
Yeah, and because like I kind of changed the distance of where I am to the camera, it becomes like quite quiet. So yeah. I think I might try and like double it up or something in the editing to make it louder.
Yeah, so either do that. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's just something to be aware of. And as I said to all of you, I'm hoping that we're going to film them when we get back to the studio. And then in terms of the final thing, in terms of the style, yeah, I just thought it was really clear throughout, especially I liked the bits where you took the talking out and we were able to just watch the physical movement, especially I think I'd said to you before about the bit where she's almost talking about the baby or the pregnancy and she's double bent over. I think that's really good, highly effective. So yeah, I thought it was very interesting.